So Vince, which channel do you think is going to win the next refi boom?
I think the one with all the money. That's the channel that I think is going to do best on refinancing everyone.
Okay, so define what is the one with all the money?
I'd like you to define the question a little bit better. Do you mean
Origination channel, like where are the loans going to?
I do get that part. We're in this business. I get the notion that it should be people who are originating mortgages. But are you asking me, is it individual originators? Are you or individual brokers? Is it broker channel? Is it correspondent channel? Is it going to be the direct retail channel with banks and mortgage lenders going directly?
You've named a few of our channels.
I've named some of
this. This is great.
I'm good at that.
Decades in this business, it's good to know Vince has retained some things. So yes.
Who do you think? Who do you think is going to take it?
Okay. So first off, I think it's going to be wholesale brokers. I also think big tech. I think these entities have been well positioned. I think a lot of
when you say big tech, you're talking companies like Better.com, that kind of.
We'll call Better.com. We'll call Loan Depot on their digital side. Companies like Rocket, and actually there's a bunch of mortgage brokers who have implemented tech, some of their own tech, using tech from many vendors. And one of the things I love about the broker can scale. Broker can all of a sudden take a new product, a new opportunity, and they can tomorrow hit the street. Whereas, listen, traditional mortgage banks might not be as quick to react. So I think it's going to be brokers. I also think it's going to be these digital lenders.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have more market share. It depends on what you mean by are they going to win. I mean, listen, we've seen a great rise over the last few years of independent brokerages, which is great, and the independent mortgage originator. But for all of that rise, they still represent 22% of the marketplace. So the retail lenders are still taking the majority of this business. It's hard to say that that the independents are going to be the winners in a refi race. It would be great to see that happen. I think that clearly they're getting, they went from 11% at the low of the marketplace back up into the 20s. And I think an awful lot of folks on the independent origination side didn't think they were going to get back there.
Yep.
But they have, and they are scaling up efficiently. I think they can still grow, but I do think it's still going to be quite a while before they're the dominant or predominant source of funds for people who are buying houses.
Okay, so dominant meaning 50% or more. So yeah, I would say that would probably be accurate. That retail, distributed retail, we'll call it that, is not necessarily, and certainly not the banks. People aren't going to the banks anymore. As I shouldn't say they aren't, but they're not the de facto place to get your mortgage anymore. They're not being aggressive with their lending programs.
They're certainly not the thing that first comes to mind necessarily. Yeah. But I gotta think, listen, it's easy enough to see a scenario. You've got a couple of folks at home, husband and wife are going, honey, we really need to think about refinancing because we want to put on an addition or we want to do something here. And the first thing they're going to do is they're not going to say, well, let's look up XYZ mortgage companies that are out there. They're going to look at the bank that they've got their bank account with. And they're going to go, we should call, Bank of Us. And
hold on for a second. Okay, 1980 called. It wants your strategy back for shopping for mortgages. No, they're going to go on the web. They're going to see the lowest rates, and they're going to actually do the research themselves. And as they're doing the research themselves, they are going to unintentionally engage with these digital players, with these mortgage professionals that are out there, and then they're going to go actually to see, okay, who am I using? Who are my friends using?
You're great for a summer daydream, is what you are, because if that were the case, and it would be nice. That's a nice little daydream, I think, for our industry.
daydream. It's called reality. This is the way people.
Well, if it were reality,
people
the wholesale channel wouldn't account for 25% of the market.
Okay.
If that was the reality.
Because we got kicked in the teeth by mortgage bankers who said actually how bad actually the mortgage brokers were. People, do you realize that most people are not getting envelopes and they open up their envelopes with actually the envelope opener and they call actually and they see actually the people aren't getting statements anymore. It's all happening digitally. And they do their own research. The power is in the consumers. They go to the web. They find the best deal for them, and that's why I don't know
how many fantasy movies and science fiction movies you watch. Apparently, lots of them, because you seem to think that one good science fiction movie takes over the entire industry. One good thing where some people are doing it takes over the entire industry. I understand that you live in a fantasy world this way. You would like it to be that way. And I'm going to declare victory for real. But you know what?
You believe that?
What? I'm gonna pat you on the back and go, good try, buddy. All righty. You enjoy it. There'll be a matinee for yours while my team wins the Academy
You'll believe
Award.
this. You'll
Go
believe
right
this.
ahead.
Yeah. Go brokers.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.